Yo, what's going on, guys? Let's go ahead and cover the patch notes for Year 7 Paladins. Removed Haven, Eliminate, and Resilience, plus Kill to Heal. Now, these are being removed because they're being reworked into different items. Arcane Warding reduces damage taken from abilities up to 36%, and the price is now 250, going up to 750, I think. I think this is really good. It allows for different variety of builds through armor plating and arcane warding. So, whatever you really need, you're going to be able to get. There's a bit more. It's going to be more expensive to get armor plating, but I don't think armor plating is really going to be the one you're going for most of the time, just because abilities are a lot of the damage in this game. But I guess we'll see. It depends on who you're playing against. I mean, BK obviously, you're going to want abilities. Or is it abilities? I'm actually not sure. Let me know in the comments if his explosive detonation is an ability damage or weapon damage. Because I'm not sure. I used that analogy so wrong, but apologies. Let me know in the comments which one it is. Bloodbath. Kills heal you and eliminations heal you and the ally who got the kill for 600. This is going to be one of the best support items in the game because not only do solo kills heal you, but eliminations now heal you and the ally who got the kill for 600. So it's not only a self-sustain item now, it's a overall sustain item. So if you, let's say, pop Yingle and your whole team kills them, then whoever got those kills is going to be getting healed 600 each kill, and then you're also going to be getting healed for 600 per elimination. It is more expensive to make up for the fact that it is a much more powerful, but I don't think that's too bad, especially with the next item, Horde. Gain 10 credits every 15 to 5 seconds. Gain 5 to 15 credits on elimination, and the price is really cheap. It's only at 150, which is roughly nimble. I think this is going to be really good. I think the best build for supports going into this patch are going to be Chronos, then Morale Boost, or you can start with Horde, and then get Chronos, then Morale Boost, and then Kill to Heal, or Bloodbath. I think that's going to be the best because you can snowball your items a lot, and since these damage reduction items aren't just only on Haven, I don't think they'll be as useful to get. But I still think if you're getting Dove a lot, or you're playing a more damage type support, you could do these. But I think that might be the best build on support. Meditation is just old veteran. Price is 175. It's really cheap. I think this is not a great item. I think it teaches a bad habit of always sitting out of combat and then healing your health instead of just playing the game, letting your healer heal you, and then not being inactive. I think it's a good concept, but I just think it promotes bad play. Sentinel is a snowball item. Reduces effectiveness of slows, knockups, and knockbacks by 75% on elimination. Gain a 450 health shield for 5 seconds, and the price of this is 225. How it's worded, it looks like it just reduces the effectiveness of slows, knockups, and knockbacks, so it's like another resilience. But I thought on the patch notes it said when you get an elimination. So I'm not sure. I guess we'll have to see on the PTS. But you do get a 450 health shield on Elim. I think this is good, but I think the health shield might be a little bit low for this part of the item to be that good, and I think you'll just be buying this to counter slows, knockups, and knockbacks. Trigger Scent. Increase damage dealt from 5 to 50% for 5 seconds after getting a kill. Price is 200. I think that's really good for Snowball. I think it might be a bit too low to be useful in a lot of cases, but I still think it's a really good concept, and I think it should stay at that 15, because when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's going to be bad, and I think it just should stay there, and I don't really think it should be touched. Unbound is basically resilience. Reduces the duration of all crowd control, except for slows, knockups, and knockbacks, by 25%. And the price is now 200. So it's less than what resilience used to be, but it has a bit of less effect. So slows, knockups, and knockbacks don't get affected by it. And I think this is still good. I think it's still a really good item, and I think you're still going to be seeing this in a lot of matches, depending on who it is. Because this Sentinel item could also be really useful if they have a bunch of slows, knockups, and knockbacks. So I guess we'll just see. It'll be more of a game-to-game basis on which one you're gonna want. Sometimes you might not even need either. So I think that's a good change, splitting up all the items, and it's a very welcome change. Deft Hands, seeing a price reduction from 250 to 225. I think this is good because when Deft Hands is good, it's good, but it still can be quite expensive. And I think this will give the niche cases of where Deft Hand is good that more niche cases. Guardian. We're seeing an increase from 10 to 30% to 20 to 60%. and it's being reduced in price to 250. This is amazing, 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 amazing. Now affects all shields. I don't exactly know what that means. Let me know in the comments if you do. But I think this is an amazing change, meaning we're going to have more use cases of Guardian. The bad thing is Wrecker got buffed. So I think this just still doesn't make it good. I think it's still pretty bad, but Wrecker is 60% on tier 2, meaning they're going to have to buy tier 2 to fully counter Guardian instead of just tier 1 to counter 30%. So I guess we'll see. It may have a little bit of use case now, but I still think in general it's just a very bad item. Life Rip is seeing a massive buff, doubling the damage or heal you get. So instead of 10 to 30% from damage dealt, you get 20 to 60%, which is amazing. Do I think it's going to be that great? Maybe not. But it's definitely going to be a lot better and a much better pick on the characters who can use it, and is going to boost these characters up quite far in the meta. Obviously, the price is being increased, but I don't think that hurts it too much. Master Writing is getting a price reduction. I think this item is good when it is good, and we're seeing it getting buffed, which is just really nice. Nimble is getting buffed, which is amazing. This item was already pretty solid, and we're going to see it get even more. Price for Rejuvenate is getting increased again. It was not 200, it was 225, so it's going to be a 25 credit increase up to 250. So it's just making the item worse and worse as the days go by, which I don't particularly like, because Rejuvenate is the only thing that counters Cauterize, and especially late game, Cauterize kind of just runs through teams, because healers aren't that effective late game. Really, like the ones who are the ones who either ignore anti-heal or the ones that just have so much passive healing that it doesn't really matter. And I think Rejuvenate is a really good counter to it, and I think they should really stop nerfing this item. I think this is the last nerf it should get, because I think this puts it in a very balanced spot, but I think if it gets nerfed too much, it's just going to be not a good item to pick up. Veteran, bonus health shield, or bonus health increase from 5.5% to 7%, meaning the max you can get now is 21% on top of being a reduction in price. I think this is absolutely amazing and instantly makes better in meta. Not S tier, but meta. Obviously, there are things that still counter Veteran, like percent health based abilities, but I still think this is absolutely amazing. Veteran was already slightly strong. It was around a B to A tier item, especially paired with Haven. But now on its own, it gives you 21% extra health, which is amazing for those high health tanks, or just in general good squishy targets that can really benefit from the health. And I think this is an amazing buff, and I cannot wait to see more Veteran play. Obviously, Wrecker get a buff to compensate for the Guardian buff, so it'll be a bit easier to build. So we'll see how this goes. I think this is a lot of really good changes, and I think this shows a lot of promise for year 7 of Paladins. Next is starting credit amount. All modes are getting 500 credits to start instead of 400. I thought it was 450, but it's okay. 500 is starting credit. That's amazing. Just absolutely great. Increased range, you see it start targets and stealth from 15 to 30. So this is just base kit. Before it was 15 meters or 15 units, and now it's 30, which is tier 1 Illuminate. It is a natural counter now to these more niche characters like Sky and Strix, but it means that they don't get countered by items. So there's going to be a lot more use cases of Sky and Strix, and then we definitely see that later in the patch notes because they do end up nerfing Sky. This is the best change of the entire patch notes, and I think anybody can agree with me on this. Caspian is absolutely dead. There's no reason to be picking Caspian anymore. Max ammo is reduced from 2120. Good change. Love ammo cost per shot 1 to 2. Also a good change. Rogue's tempo nerfed to the absolute fucking oblivion. 0.7 second stun to a 1.5 second 40% slow, and the damage is getting cut by almost half. This kills this ability to absolute oblivion, and I think this is almost an entirely useless ability now. Resilience already countered this item a lot, but now nothing the only thing that counters this is the snowball effect, and it's going to be a lot easier to kill Caspian because he doesn't have anything to really confirm that kill. Meaning that, what is it called? I don't remember. The item that makes you reduce effectiveness to slows makes it 5 times easier to kill Caspian, while already making Caspian an easier target to kill. Storm of Blaze being reduced to 700 damage per shot and the duration down to 8 seconds. I think this is really good. I think the ult needed a nerf because the ult was carrying Caspian in a lot of games. Good change. Measured Cadence, which was his first talent. Damage reduced from 400 to 200 and ammo cost to trigger from 2 to 4, meaning his entire output of damage from this talent gets nerfed by 4 times. Right here is 2 times, and then this is down to 4 times. It's just insane. And it's got some heft, removed the range bonus, updated. This is just interesting, right? You were picking this talent to give you some extra range with war, on top of you got some extra damage, but you had to sacrifice some attack speed. This was my personal favorite talent for Caspian. It felt really good. Now there isn't an increase of range, meaning it's going to be a lot harder to use this talent while also losing some DPS because you're no longer attacking faster. You're just getting a bit more damage without the range, meaning you actually do lose quite a bit of DPS because you also lose your stun. It's really rough. Caspian might be one of the worst flanks of the game now, not even kidding. But I guess we'll have to see how the meta shapes. Very unfortunate for Caspian. On to Kasumi. I think this is a big nerf for Kasumi in general. So no longer against cursed enemies that reveal in Kasumi. This is good. Good buff. Body and soul, this is where I think Kasumi just gets nerfed. Now increases jump height by 500%. Sure, whatever. But they traded it off for the damage reduction while in body and soul. Not something we wanted. Kasumi is very, very weak right now, and this just makes her weaker. It makes her only mode of transition just bad. It just makes it even worse than it was before. 75% gave her a very small chance to escape, but now 60% makes it practically impossible for her to get out of the situations that she really can. Obviously, the jump height makes her a bit more of an aggressive ability, but she doesn't have a different escape besides this, meaning this escape just got even worse. Increased size of pain indicators when hit by a yokai doll. Not sure what this means, but sure. Soul Siphon card, increased body and soul duration. Increased from 0.1 to 0.3 seconds. This is fine. It's a good filler card, but we see that Unfinished Business gets nerfed because of this. I didn't think Unfinished Business was her best talent. I think Haunted Grounds is her best talent just in general as a Kasumi player. And I think all of this just completely nerfs her for whatever reason. She needed some buffs. If they give her the jump height but didn't touch the damage reduction, left Unfinished Business alone, and made this 0.2 seconds instead of 0.3 seconds, this would have been a great buff and probably would have made her a very mid-tier flank. But instead, they decided to nerf her, and I don't really like that. I honestly think this is a very bad change. Khan is getting some nerfs, which is amazing. Khan's been the best tank in the game for quite a while now. Overpower. Adjusted hitbox should be a small cylinder instead of a beam, which is going to be a lot better, a lot more fluent. And reduced damage range from 180 to 170. This correlates with this weapon's effective range. Really good. Nice changes. Koga just got nerfed in the last patch, and they decided to buff him up really well for some reason. Dragon Stance against 25% bonus movement speed to Koga while active. Meaning he can reach the movement speed gap for sure now. Hellkite Claws now projectile now pierces, which is going to up his DPS by a ton for those grouped up targets. And Adrenaline Junkie is getting a buff up to 120 instead of 160. I think this is good middle ground, and I think this is where it should have been nerfed to, and then he would have been a pretty meta pick. But I think all of this now boosts him all the way up, probably to a lot more of a meta pick. Definitely somebody you want to be checking out when the patch comes. Now this is a very good buff for Lian. Damages have been pretty weak for a good bit now. And Heirloom Rifle is getting a buff, 400 to 450, and the effective range is going from 90 to 125. I think this is really good. I think that gives her a bit more of usefulness. And we're going to see her health go up from 2,000 to 2,150, meaning she's going to be a bit harder to deal with while also outputting more damage. And I think this is a very nice buff, and it might make me Lian a very solid pick. We're going to see Omen Buffs. I don't know why. More of the card is getting adjusted damage bonus from 8% scaling per level to 20% at all levels. And adjusted ammo penalty from -2 per level to -10 with +1 per ammo per level. And you can get a max of -5 ammo with 20% increased damage. I think that's going to be really good. I don't think he'll be meta again, but I think it's definitely going to make him a bit of a more viable pick. Not that he was bad, but I think it makes him a bit more, you'll see him a bit more often. Raum is getting a massive buff. Soul Armor is now unaffected by anti-healing. Amazing. Makes him a definitely better pick. He's been weak for a long time. Just makes him a lot better. I don't think it'll be meta, but I think he will feel a lot better playing. VII is seeing an absolute massive overhaul of changes. Let's check it out. Ability Heavy SMG. Burst mode damage increased from 125 to 150. Automatic mode damage increased from 225 to 235. And automatic mode effective range decreased from 95 to 70. Amazing. Automatic mode effective range max damage penalty increased from 50% to 75. And max magnum effective range increased from 10 to 25. I think this is amazing, and I think it makes his SMG better. Obviously, he's one of the worst flanks in the game right now, and he got a massive damage buff here. And I think this definitely makes him a bit more viable, but you can't play damage with him, which is something I was definitely worried about when they started those patch notes, was that they were going to buff VII's damage, but not nerf his range, and I think they did a really good job with that, making him this more of an assassin-type flank, which fits his lore, which is cool, but also it gives his magged up effective range a lot better. And his automatic mode gets a bit more usefulness. It's never really had that usefulness. And then burst mode is obviously getting a massive buff. This is amazing. Gives him a lot more DPS. Just what he needed. Now we're going into the more questionable changes for VII. Card Terror. Reduced pull strength. Bonus from 4% to 3% per level. Nice. Increased base pull strength from 4 to 5%. Bit weird. The Knight cooldown reduction increased from 0.25 to 0.4 seconds. Fine buff. Talents. Overcharge. Removed 100 damage penalty. Removed 1 charge reduction penalty. And removed the 2-second cooldown buff. This might make this a worthwhile talent again, which is what made him broken in the first place beforehand, before he was nerfed into the ground. He could just constantly pull people out of position and then one-shot them, which he obviously got a big buff. So I'm definitely worried about where this is going to go. And the spring loaded remove the 30% cooldown reduction buff and increase the range bonus from 25 to 30%. I'm not sure how this will go, I'm going to be honest. And I don't really want another 7 meta for a long time. So I think this might be a 7 meta, but I guess we'll see how it goes. Skye is getting her damage reduced per shot with wrist crossbow from 130 to 115. Solid nerf. Terminus, Calamity Blast. Dealing damage with Calamity Blast now increases Power Siphon's recharge rate by 25% for 4 seconds. Stacks up to 5 times. Really good. Lets him have a safety net a lot more often, and rewards him for using his Calamity Blast. Tyra, Hunting Party. I don't know where my English is right now. Remove the additionals Hunter's Mark charge. Very good. Obviously, Hunting Party was her more favorite talent, but you could use her bomb talent. I don't exactly know what it's called. Burn Monster was just really bad. But this will make this talent a bit worse, make Tyra a bit worse overall, and make the other 2 talents a bit more viable. I do think this kind of puts Tyra in a worse spot, but I don't think it makes her completely dead, and I still think she's a decent DPS character to pick, especially if you need percent health damage. VORA is seeing some nice buffs. We're going to go ahead and see Deadly Scythe getting some buffs. Damage over time, effect normalized across all hits to 100. Increase medium attack damage from 100 to 300. Increase light attacks from 100 to 200. And increase heavy attacks damage from 450 to 600. And shorten medium attacks plus fire delay from 0.75 to 0.6. This is amazing. I actually didn't even know the changes were coming through. This is absolutely amazing and makes VORA's DPS insane. Absolutely insane. Buffs her so much. This is exactly what VORA needed. VORA was probably the worst flank in the entire game, besides like Kasumi emoji. But this makes VORA so much better and so much better to play. She's probably more of a mid-tier, if not top-tier flank now, because her DPS is just off the charts. Amazing buff, and I love what they did to her. Willo's getting a bit of a buff. Blast Flower adjusted damage per shot from 80 bonus damage to 100 and increased max stats from 3 to 4. Pretty good. Makes talent a bit more viable. I don't think it's amazing, and I don't think it's going to be her best talent, but it definitely makes her talent more viable. Ying, I bet you all were waiting for this nerf. True healing effect removed, and I think this is not a good change. The reason being, Ying wasn't the best support in the game, or just like in general a top support, was because she didn't have any like true full healing. She was more like Saris, where a lot of her healing was channeled. And the reason Saris is very bad is because her healing is channeled, her dash is channeled, etc. Everything about her is channeled. Ying was kind of like that. It was an outdated character where she was just constantly channeling things without a true healing effect. As you see, Saris did get some type of true healing with Agony. Is the talent good? No, but it was there. And Illusionary Rift having true healing was amazing for it. It made it one of the best, if not the best support on the entire game. But now that it's removed, it makes her ult even worse. I mean, I think it's like 45 health per second. And with Caught, it's going to be around 9, maybe less. I'm not sure. I know it heals up to like 4,586 health in total. So it's just, we'll see how it goes. Cauterize is definitely going to affect this completely. Obviously, Willow's going to be even better under her. I think this honestly puts Ying right back into like a mid-tier, if not low-tier spot. But to compensate for it, we did get on activation, removes all debuff effects on allies, and grants 1 second of crowd control immunity on activation to allies. So it does remove Caught, and it does give 1 second of crowd control immunity, which is really good. It can't snowball a fight. I don't know if this is really going to make her a very top pick anymore. I want to see where the support meta goes. If you don't know, I'm a support main, so I do want to see where this goes. Anyway, that's it for the patch notes, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you want more content like this, going over patch notes, giving my opinion on things, make sure to sub. More content will be coming soon on Paladins. Hope to see you guys in the next one. And as always, be safe. Peace out.